All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do a new approach to today's video. We're back. The podcast is back after a month break, and we're just gonna get right into our conversation. Chopper and I have been talking for literally 30 seconds before this, so we're just gonna give our unfiltered thoughts on just whatever comes up in this podcast today. We may talk about COD, we may talk about Battlefield, we may talk about
whatever.
We might talk about Red Dead Redemption. Who knows what we're gonna talk about today? But Chop, how you been?
I'm good, man. I've been good. I've been keeping up with what you've been up to. You know, we haven't actually got to sit down and speak in a while, and that's kind of like, we usually come into these podcasts a lot more structured, but
Yeah.
when it's been a bit since we've had to sit down and have a conversation, there's so much to like catch up on that it kind of feels impossible to bring any kind of structure to this. So we're just gonna yap if y'all are cool with that, and we're gonna touch on a lot of things that I want to talk about. But
Yes.
no, I've been good. I've been working on content for my own channel and doing a lot of like classic Call of Duty stuff, which I'm sure is, I know that's what you've been doing too.
That's
I mean, that's really the only
baby.
thing to do right now. I feel like Black Ops 7 content, as far as making things that are not only fulfilling to me but interesting for viewers, has felt like nearly impossible. The only thing that personally has like inspired me to like make more of it is the lore videos that I'm doing for the zombies maps. But
Yeah.
you can kind of only make one video for the map. Once you make that lore video and you make that product, that's kind of it for that, and you got to wait for another map to drop. Which, by the way, they I don't know if you saw this stuff they're doing for season 2 and season 2 Reloaded. But
yeah. I mean, I've been paying attention to it. I think sadly I just don't know if I care. I'm just kind of like over BO7. Like, here's the thing. I just got back from, I guess I'll just briefly summarize. Most people probably know, but I went to Major 1, which is competitive Call of Duty for those.
Where was that, by the way? Was that in Austin, Texas? Because I saw you at Terry Black's.
Yeah, it was in Dallas, Texas. So
Dallas.
There was another Terry's, and that place was unbelievable.
Okay, first of all, I got to talk to you about Terry Black's before we talk about gaming.
I'd rather talk about Terry Black's than Black Ops 7.
Did you love it? Did you love it?
That was I came home, told my wife that's the best barbecue I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it ain't even
That's
close.
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, man. Listen, I'm glad you've seen the light. I used to live in Austin, Texas for a while, and we had a Terry Black's barbecue like 10 minutes from our house, and bro, we would go there all the time after the gym and stuff. Like, it is, people don't believe me when I, talk about it like it's God's gift to barbecue, but it literally is.
It literally is. And
I'm glad we have a new convert.
So what's crazy too is that place is like, it's like a well-oiled machine. Like, you get in there and you see the line out the door and you're like, holy crap. But you're in line maybe 5-10 minutes. I mean, that place is probably just crushing it.
Did the one that you went to in Dallas, did it have like the big smoker outside, like where they're making all the thing? And
so somebody said that the Austin one is better because it has that. But it has some sort of smoker, but it's just, I think it's kind of away from where you can see compared to that one. Apparently, somebody told me it's 1A and 1B with how good they are, but the Austin one does beat out the one that we went to.
Gotcha, man. It's so, like, I saw you there and I was jealous. I'm like, bro, I got to go back to Austin, Texas at this point. Anyways,
it was
great barbecue.
So good. I got brisket, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, a little bit of green beans. I mean, and then I ate that and I didn't eat again for the rest of the day. It was like at 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm like, I am not touching food. I did a lot of that down there. I did one breakfast and then like one big meal of something.
One big meal.
Yeah. And it was actually kind of nice because then I was full the whole day from that Terry Black's. It was crazy.
Yeah. If anybody who's in the like Austin or Dallas area, I'm sure natives there probably go to Terry Black's all the time. But if any of you guys listening just happen to be in the area, make that a priority. It will change your life. I promise. I'm glad we have a new convert. That makes me happy.
Terry Black's has 12,000 reviews on the Dallas, Texas, and the Austin one has 24,000 reviews.
That makes me so happy.
That is almost 40,000 reviews on a barbecue joint.
Yeah, it's special, man. It's special.
That is
So
special.
you were in Dallas for the
Major
champs?
one, yes.
Major one.
And I don't know where I was going with that besides the fact of it was actually very enjoyable to watch. That's the thing about Call of Duty is I feel like no matter what the game is, no matter what, if you like it or hate it, most of them are still pretty good to enjoy watching competitively. Like I hated MW2. Everybody knows I hated playing it, but watching it competitively wasn't that bad. It was actually a pretty good product, probably because you don't actually have to play that game itself and somebody else does it.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, it got me fired up a little bit for Black Ops 7 again, but then, you know, I don't know what to come home and do. I don't, people didn't like, I
Yeah.
did a camo grind this year for content. Nobody enjoyed it. I mean, people enjoyed it, but like compared to BO6 numbers, they're,
It's not the
it
same.
ain't, it's a 1/5 situation here. So I
Well,
think,
it's interesting since our last podcast, we have the numbers on this now,
yeah,
on how much Black Ops 7 sold in comparison to 6, and it's like overall sales like in total were down like 60% from BO6,
yeah,
which is like a
that ain't good.
steep drop. It is literally the least selling Call of Duty since World at War. Like comparable numbers to the 2008 World at War game, which is insane.
And that also
Um,
makes World at War sound bad, but World at War I will defend because COD 4 revolutionary, and then it
yep.
came right before
Right before the big boom with
MW2
MW2.
revolutionary. So
Yeah.
you'd almost have to go back to, you know, a fair comparison might be like COD 3 is what I was almost thinking in terms
Sure.
of numbers and reputation. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been a rough year in terms of Call of Duty content. I mean, obviously, we can talk about how Battlefield came out, had a great launch. They seem to be falling back now, and then Arc Raiders has just taken over the internet completely. I mean, I don't think it's Fortnite levels, but I think it's. I got words to say about that game too because I think that
Yeah.
is. I feel like that game
About
right
Arc
now.
Raiders, you mean?
Yeah, I feel like that game is almost just a product of there's nothing really good to play in the FPS market. I'm not talking about single player and all that. I'm talking about shooter games. We're looking for something new, and Extraction is semi new. And this was a game that kind of made it more simple for people to understand and pick up over like a Tarkov. And so it's
Yep.
just like the new thing, and personalities are behind it. But to me, it just doesn't feel like a game that's going to be around. And this could be the worst quote of all time in like a year or two, but it just doesn't feel
Let's
like
hear
it's
it.
going to be a Fortnite or a Warzone where it's like top dog for years to come. You know, Fortnite was top dog for how many years? 3 or 4 till Warzone came out. And then
Mhm.
Warzone came out and it was top dog for 3, 4 years, 3 probably. Um,
I feel like the battle royale genre has always had its big players. Like in my head, it wasn't just one king. It was like there were a few crowns to be held. You might say
yeah.
like there was PUBG, which was like the crown of like the more like hardcore BR. There was Fortnite, which was obviously the biggest one, but the most accessible and casual one. And then you had like
Yep.
Apex Legends, which was like for the hero shooter guys, and they all did something a little different. So I feel like Arc Raiders. It's done a really good job at retaining its player base, which has been. We could talk about maybe why that is. I don't really play much Arc Raiders.
I played it like one
I
time. I don't know. I don't know how extraction shooters are for you.
I well see I I used to play Tarkov, and then I stopped playing Tarkov for a couple years, and then weirdly enough, Modern Warfare Zombies came out and is an extraction mode
True.
basically. And I was like, you know what? That was pretty cool. But also, I feel like it kind of scratched that itch for me.
Yeah.
Like after I was done with MWZ, I felt like satisfied on extraction shooters. And Arc
Like you're good
Raiders
for a
was
little
like,
bit.
yeah, like I'm good. And that's the difference. Like sometimes there's games where particularly like Dark Souls games, I'll play one and I'm like, I just want more of that. I mean, I'm done. Like I've done everything there is to do on Night Rain, on Elden Ring Night Rain, and I'm like, I just want more. Well, and I know it's greedy, but I'm like,
But
I would
give me
take
more.
another DLC if there was. Yeah, give me more. But I feel like I'm good on extraction shooters now. Like Marathon is coming out next month, which you've already played, but they've made some pretty significant
Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
since the last time.
It seems way
And
different.
Yeah, it does. I think that low key they probably took a lot of inspiration from arc raiders and adjusted in accordance to what players are preferring. I'm sure Marathon will be pretty good. I'm gonna play it when it comes out. It'll probably be probably be decent, but we're just gonna see more extraction shooter players enter the gaming landscape, I think. But it kind of puts COD in a weird position because, like, as we've seen with, I don't know, season 2, like, there's nothing particularly exciting coming out, at least for
Yeah.
you. And for me, it's like, yeah, we're getting a new zombies map, Paradox Junction or whatever, is coming out on season 2 Reloaded, which, by the way, unfortunately, I don't know if I'm even going to be home for. I'm supposed to be on a bachelor cruise,
Yeah.
and the map might come out while I'm on the ocean. So I don't even know if I'm going to be here.
Can I say something insane about that?
Please.
I feel like we've gotten even fatigued with zombies because we have now gotten it MWZ, Black Ops 6, BO7. Now, I don't wish this upon anybody that's in the zombies community, but I feel like part of the reason why everybody was so excited for maybe like Cold War was because what was there? No zombies for 2 years, 3 years, maybe?
It had been since Black Ops 4.
Right. So 2 solid years of no zombies. And I feel like we've just hit a point where everything that Call of Duty right now is doing, I really think if this was last year's Call of Duty, this is 10 times better, maybe 20 times better, because the BO2 remasters maps would hit. People would be so excited to see all them again. The zombies would be a fresh take on what was going on. And well, the campaign was going to be bad no matter what, but maybe BO6 could have been BO7's campaign. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But it just feels like
it's even worse though, because it's not just the fact that we've gotten zombies every year. It's the fact that we've gotten the same zombies every year.
Yeah.
Literally. Like I'm working out a big video in my head. Maybe I'll put this together, maybe I won't. But since Cold War, if you just look at the game systems and and the menus and like all the field upgrades and the loadouts we're using from Cold War to now, there have been like 7 games of the exact same systems.
Yeah.
So not only is there zombies fatigue from just getting it every year, which would be more tolerable if they were different. Like, because, you know, after BO2, like we had BO2 zombies, and then the next game was Advanced Warfare. Granted, we didn't have it on launch, but we did get Exo zombies. So we had another year of zombies. And then we would get Black Ops 3 with another year of zombies. But again, they were all very different. We've gotten 6 years of not only zombies, but the same zombies.
Yeah.
And that is immensely contributing to the zombies fatigue right now. I don't know if you saw this, but the real thing that happened like last week, which is concerning, is I don't know if you know much about like the relic hunts and curse mode. Like you know like curse mode, you know, you put the relics on and you hunt for them and stuff.
I saw this.
There was some Chinese tool got developed that they're now deploying in the game that reads everything and it shows every interactable ever and like every technical aspect to interactables for Easter eggs, which essentially means they solved all of the hidden relics within a day because it's essentially a cheat engine, and this can absolutely be used on main Easter eggs and will be probably.
So people will get the Easter eggs done in 5 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's like
so there's
Easter egg hunts.
Like that's kind of the thing. That's kind of the thing when a new zombie map comes out. Like, let's figure this out.
It's
first
the hunt.
To do
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
Exactly. And so me being on a cruise potentially while the new map comes out, I'm like in one part of my head, I'm like, oh, that really sucks. Like, I really want to be home for this. But at the same time, I'm like, if
now you're like,
people are going to cheat engine this, I'm like, do I even care?
Right.
Like, there's going to be no hunt. It's cooked. Like,
yeah.
Unless, and I don't know how Treyarch can counteract that because the game is already built. Like, they'd have to seriously rebuild the game from the ground up to counteract something like this, which also, by the way, I think is one of the advantages to like Call of Duty really having like different engines every year is not only do the games feel different, but I think it kind of makes it harder for, you know, data miners and cheaters who like dig into the game. It's like a cat and mouse game. Like,
This
You know?
stupid HQ has introduced absolutely nothing good. There has
Yeah.
not been one positive thing from this HQ. There's update requires restart. You can leak everything early. Games come out early now. Like people know
But
every
carry
single
forward, T-Dog. You
carry
can have
forward.
your
Like,
Snoop Dogg skin in Modern Warfare. It's like,
and then they cancel carry forward, so now that doesn't even matter anymore. It's like, what are we? I said it. I tweeted this the other day. We need another reboot. We need another. Okay, cut off whatever we were doing, just like MW19 did. And I'm not saying go back to everything MW19 did. I'm not. That's not my words. My words are what MW19 did was like start. It just hit the reset button. BO4 was a mess. There was all sorts. There was no campaign. It feels like BO7. There was no campaign. Black Ops 7's campaign is terrible. There was all sorts of, they did Blackout instead of another campaign. Their multiplayer was all over the place. There was black market. There was supply drops in their worst system yet. And it feels like that's what BO7 is. The collabs are still weird. The campaign was terrible. We're just depending on remakes now to kind of get people excited. Like Slums is coming back again. Firing Range is coming back again. Fringe is coming back again. We've done this. There's nobody interested in these maps anymore. Slums has been remade 6 times.
like 8 times or something like that.
So it's like, I
crazy.
just think all the things that have been purchased in the store, like let's just hit a hard reset, get back. And I know it won't be this year, obviously, with MW4, but maybe there is some sort of hope with that because new engine, only on the new gen. Maybe they don't title it MW4. Maybe they title it MW, what is it, North Korea, South Korea, like Korean Warfare or something like that. I don't know if that's a good title or not, but, just something to kind of be like, okay, we're not Modern Warfare 4, okay? Like, it's its own
I wanted to ask
brand.
you, like, what because we texted a little bit about this, but because I was saying like MW19 is literally like that the schism. It's like the fork in the road between classic and modern COD. And do we think the modern COD has reached the end of its road? And also,
100%.
if that's the case, if there's another schism coming, like, and I'm sure we don't get paid enough to have the answers for this, but it's like, what do you do? Like, okay, we rebooted Modern Warfare. We basically, I mean, in a way, I know the storylines are connected, whatever. In a way, Cold War is pretty obviously trying to be like the Black Ops reboot, right? As Modern Warfare was the COD 4 reboot.
Yeah.
So we've pulled that card. If you want to like have a fresh reset for COD, what do you do now? Like, do you go with a new IP? Do you try to reboot Modern Warfare again? Like, because like, I mean, to be honest, bro, like, this as well as I do. Like, Call of Duty is a nostalgia brand now. Like,
yeah, but they got to do something new. Like, I feel like the nostalgia should come in how the game operates. Like, I think, and I was talking to a bunch of people because I did a video while I was at this event. I asked people their favorite COD, and I mean, a lot of people said BO3. A lot of people said, and I just think that there's just people are all over the place now, which is it's tough because developers are never going to be able to please everybody. But I do feel like I got a lot of answers of, what was the last Call of Duty that really felt like Call of Duty? And believe it or not, and I agree with these people, I think it was World War II. Like the last one that felt like OG COD, the way that people moved, shot, like you can dive one direction. I think there needs to be a return to that in terms of core gameplay. I'm not saying copy World War II again, but everything was so your positioning mattered, how you were aiming down sight mattered. When you dolphin dived, you couldn't go all over the place. You were like in one direction. You knew if you dolphin dive, you could only go that way. And it made everything a little bit more, I don't want to say predictable, but it just made it more
deliberate.
Your brain mattered than, I'm just going to spam myself out of this with a slide, or I'm going to jump over this guy, or I'm just going to disappear or whatever. And so I just think they've lost that. And I think people are so tired of, you watch somebody play BO7 on 120 FOV, and it's one of the most cracked out things you're going to see in your life. And I've had the argument with the FOV thing that I think we've gone too far.
Oh,
and I actually
man.
had a couple people coming to me and be like, dude, I can't play on 80 FOV. It makes me motion sick. And I'm like, really?
Well,
So,
I actually wanted to touch on that for a second because, you know, I've been playing a lot of retro FPS games recently.
yeah.
And particularly on, not always, but sometimes on old hardware, like on a CRT TV, just to see, you know, what it was
How it
like.
felt.
And one of the FOV thing is kind of a big one because part of like the increasing skill gap in COD, I think largely has to do with the increase in FOV that we've had because we used to play on consoles with, you know, standard televisions with whatever 80 FOV, the standard, and it wasn't until like, you know, the new era of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 19 and then on that we could alter that FOV, and that I think that really changes things because it puts people on different playing fields. Like when we all had the same FOV, we all had this, and also, you know, crossplay is a thing, like part of this. When we all had the same FOV, we all had the same like controller inputs.
Yeah.
It made everything feel a bit more grounded in that way. But now you join BO7, you don't know who's using like keyboard, you don't know who's playing on a SCUF controller, what FOV they got. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot more variation of.
It's so even competitive COD, like it just used to all be on an Xbox, and everybody just played on an Xbox. Now you got people like, if you're in challengers, which is like the minor leagues of COD, like are you on a 30 series because you can't afford a 40 series like the pros can because that's how much they get paid? And I'm not saying that that's like a crazy difference, but maybe it is when it's competitive and each little micro movement changes the way you can kind of advance in your career.
It's hard to put like regulation into that. Yeah, it's difficult.
And so that was what it was nice about console. Everybody was on the same playing field, and I think now it's just gotten to be. I mean, even when I look back at like World War II, I played it the other day on. I played it the other day on PC, and the highest FOV on PC, I believe, was 90.
Whoa.
So maybe something to consider. Like, okay, let's maybe tone it down a little bit. Because I think part of the problem is everybody thinks the new Call of Duty is cracked because it looks cracked because of 120 FOV. And that started in MW19 or I guess that's the first time I had access to it because I had a PC, but Cold War introduced 120 to everybody. And so we've had that 5-6 years of just, it feels like cracked out movement almost, except for MW2. And
and listen, I don't mind a game with a high skill gap or, you know, skill ceiling. Like I don't either. I would actually be generally in favor of that, but I guess like my only point is that I think it's difficult to make a game consistent and relatable for everybody when there's so much variation of how you can customize it. And I get like game devs through goodwill want to give us more options for features and customization and stuff, but sometimes, again, like even with the actual gameplay stuff, sometimes less is more. Sometimes controlling for these variables, like when they made the original Modern Warfare 2, they made it with a specific FOV in mind. That's why like the gun models are the way they are. That's why the animations look the way they do. When you start playing around with FOV in those older games, like the guns do weird things. It's just not made for that. The game was like tailored to be in a certain FOV. And I think that like attention to detail and that tailoring is kind of what we need more of instead of like more arbitrary customization issues. But the big thing I wanted to get your thoughts on, and I was thinking about this a lot. I was talking with a friend the other day about like, you know, because Call of Duty had its worst fiscal year ever with COD, essentially. Like Microsoft is probably looking at Black Ops 7 like that was a giant bomb. But okay, so it's like, what do you do from this point? And I was talking to my friend, and I'm like, I know this kind of sounds bad, but I feel like the way forward is there needs to be more. I would be encouraging more, not in a toxic way, but I would be encouraging more competition between the studios rather than trying to get everybody all of them to work on the same thing. Yeah, because that strategy is not working. I think, you know, going back and looking at the golden age of COD, in my opinion, Call of Duty was at its best when it was like 2 or 3 groups of nerds like trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Like that was, and I don't know how you incentivize a healthy competition between them, but like that's kind of what I feel like they need to do is scale back a little bit and just focus on making something really cool that is like uniquely theirs. I wish the studios felt like themselves again. I know Sledgehammer's trying to find their own thing still. Like, in my opinion, Sledgehammer's never really found their identity. Like, they
Yeah.
got close with like Advanced Warfare. I'm like,
Yeah.
this could have been something. And then they did World War II, which is like fine. And that could have been something. But then they did Vanguard, which is very different to World War II, even though it was, Sledgehammer's always picking up like substitute for the other studios. And if each one could have their own identity, even if they're not doing Modern Warfare or Black Ops anymore, like could at least be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I feel like, man, Sledgehammer I feel like every time, man, they just get the wrong end of the stick. And I would love to be a fly on the wall. I know we interviewed Greg, but like a fly on the wall of what they actually wanted to make every one of these years. Because they didn't want to make MW3. They didn't want to make Vanguard. I think they wanted to make World War II, from what it seems. Like they were working on that during AW. They were going like traveling places. They put World War II guns in AW to like tease it. So I think that one was kind of what they wanted to do. Maybe they were forced to kind of go boots on the ground because of the jetpack era, but
sure.
I feel like they actually want to make that. But
it felt like it came from a genuine place.
Yes, yeah. It didn't feel like MW3 or Vanguard, where 4 weeks later we had some sort of crazy thing in Vanguard with a laser gun, and then in MW3 it's just all scattered all over the place. So that wasn't the product that was supposed to be there. That's another thing too. Just going along, we've talked about this so many times, but it just feels like none of these products are finished either. And you can get away with that one time, but when you do it 3-4 years in a row, it's just like people are paying $70 for your game. You're not getting it for free. Like if there's a bad Fortnite season, you're like, all right, well, hey, the game's free. It is what it is. But when you go out and spend $70 and the campaign is what it is in BO7 or, MWZ from MW3, I think Black Ops 6 felt like a finished product, but it also felt like they were trying to force like those open world missions, and it didn't feel like Call of Duty. So it's almost been since MW2 that we got a full finished product. Again, 4 years ago.
Call of Duty should
cut Warzone.
Not where I was going with that, but maybe. But do you think it would be helpful at this point? Because I think, at least from a zombies perspective, I feel like zombies really suffers from live service.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's time to change the live service model? I'm not saying go back to standard DLC map packs.
Yeah.
But the live service model of content and the way that games are handled is not working.
Not at all.
Because like it's not working for a lot of reasons. But in zombies, for example, they're every like season and a half or whatever, every half season, I don't even know. Like they're releasing survival maps, and they're literally just cuts from Ashes of the Damned. Like it's, a smaller whatever. And that could very easily just be part of the launch of the game. Like BO2 did that. BO2, you have transit, but then you could play town. Town is just a subset of transit.
Yes.
We have the exact same. There's no reason.
And I love that.
Yeah, and there's no reason why all of those survival maps shouldn't be in the game from the start. Rather, they're being drip fed to us because content, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's.
I just think live service needs to be their current model, and especially with like seasonal storytelling. They try to. God, it's so bad.
I was watching an Ink Slasher video on the seasonal thing, and he was just ripping it, and I'm like, what seasonal story is there to tell? Like, what even happened in the campaign that was worth continuing?
Exactly, and if you happen to check into the seasonal storytelling at any point, it all feels weird, disconnected, inconsequential. Like, why do I care? That is a massive issue. Like, They may have been able to get away with that in Modern Warfare 2019 because of like the way that Warzone was integrated into the game, and like there was a little bit of interconnection between the whole story of that. That's fine, but I think trying to continue the story of the campaign through seasonal cutscenes is an awful idea, and it gives it. That's why there's no replayability, man, to these things, because there's no like. It never crystallizes until the very end, and then by that point, the next COD's out. At that moment where the game becomes complete, season 6 or whatever, right when you get that moment where everything that's supposed to be is in the game, next COD's out. Who cares?
Yeah, like, I mean that was Cold War to me. Like Cold War was a product that I kind of argue with people that say it's their favorite COD because not favorite COD, but they're like, it's a good COD. I'm like, yeah, but in the beginning, and I have the same argument for World War II. I liked World War II, but I knew the finished product of World War II. Somebody that tells me World War II sucks, I go, well, how long did you play? And they go 2 months. And I'm like, yeah, it did suck in the 2 months in. And Cold War is the same way. Like Cold War had what, 7 maps at launch?
Cold War had 6 multiplayer maps on launch.
That's unbelievable.
And 1 zombies map.
I mean,
it's just not working. I think live service needs to be eviscerated / severely overhauled, because it is like, and I've been thinking about this a lot too with like free to play games.
We've talked about
exactly. We talked about this last time.
Product with a Fortnite model.
With a free-to-play microtransaction system, you got to pick one.
You got to pick one, and they're not picking one. And again, it just leads to fatigue. There's fatigue in every aspect of Call of Duty, whether it's them trying new stuff and it's not working, whether it's repeating the same game over and over again, whether it's the live service stuff and bundling stuff and stores. I feel like every move they've made has been wrong since MW2, I think. Like there has not been a move that I'm like, yeah, they made the right one there. Because even with Black Ops 7, the moves that they were making prior to launch, they were making them because Battlefield 6. You can go conspiracy mode on me all you want. That would have been that if that game didn't come out this year, they are not doing skill-based matchmaking removal. I would bet anything on it. And so carry forward, all that happened because people were like, I'm just playing Battlefield this year. And we can talk about Battlefield in a little bit too. Now Call of Duty has no competition again because Battlefield just absolutely crapped the bed.
And what's going on with Battlefield?
So
I granted, to be honest, I haven't played much Battlefield 6. I was going to get back on it this week, but I have been playing other stuff, but I haven't checked in with Battlefield in probably like a month.
So
I don't know.
I've been playing a lot of RedSec with my buddy still, like a couple times a week. I've been really enjoying it just because I think we talked about this, where I'm just playing it content brain off. Just hopping on with the buddies, playing it. No objective, can camp, you don't have to do anything funny or do anything stupid, or I'm just playing a battle royale how it was intended to be played, trying to win. And it has been so enjoyable. So pretty much from what I know with Battlefield is there's just been nothing. There's just been no updates, at least from what I see. I know they've done little periodic hot fixes and stuff like that, but there hasn't been a major season update since the game came out, pretty much from what I know. And it was supposed to be out in January, and then they delayed it to like February 17th or 13th or something. So realistically, there hasn't been much since the game came out, and that's been October. So we all know how gaming works nowadays. 4 months for new content is kind of insane, especially when you have your competitor so backed into a corner. I can't believe they botched it again is kind of what my thoughts are, because Battlefield 2042 was the same story. They had
I said we almost had the trifecta. If only a Halo game came out this year and bombed, we'd have 2021 all over again.
Because they had another chance to beat Call of Duty that year too, and just put out an awful product. And it's just like, man, they can't get out of their own way, where Call of Duty trips over their own feet, and Battlefield looked like they were finally learning, because the product they put out I think is actually really good, minus the campaign again.
Sure.
But we don't follow Battlefield for campaigns. They've had a couple okay ones, the ones that I've played. But
Bad Company.
Yeah, I just think they kind of blew their shot at taking over Call of Duty, because at this point now we're not going to see another Battlefield for a year or two, and Call of Duty has MW4 coming out next year.
Well, and this is the juicy thing I wanted to get to. I wanted to ask you your thoughts on this, because I've been seeing this a lot more crop up on Twitter and just on YouTube and stuff. Like, I think the truth is that in a big way, Call of Duty's player base is aging out. I have seen a lot of like OGs of the scene like quit COD outright, even quit gaming. I'm not saying like everybody has to do that or should at a certain point, but like a lot of people have just like decided that they're too old for COD. Like,
but I think that's based around how fast the game plays now. I don't think they want to be done with COD. I think COD is doing it to them. Like, and you have to go back. I'm trying to think. Now,
devil's advocate. Do you think that's them trying to like? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Do you think that's like them trying to? Because if COD wants to survive, they can't just appeal to their aging out player base. Like, they have to do something new to appeal to like a younger demographic. Which, like, in order to stay alive, I understand why they would do that. Like, do you think that is?
But I don't think cracked movement is in anymore. And I think they thought it was. Like, they thought that, okay, young audience likes cracked movement. If that were the case, Splitgate 2 would be the game everybody's playing.
Yeah, sure.
But they're not.
Good point.
And so they're playing Arc Raiders. They're playing these games that are slower in pace. I mean, they're looting. They're doing stuff like that. People are still on Fortnite. Fortnite's not cracked. The building is, but like the regular no build, that's not very cracked. It's you running, you can jump. And so I think part of it is they think that they got to do some sort of hocus pocus to get the younger audience. And I don't think that that's the case at all. And I think BO6 was a perfect example of that. They went with a TikTok brain rot game, and it had the biggest drop off besides MW2. And so I go back to, they need to meet in the middle. MW2 dropped off because the game was so slow and unbearable that nobody wanted to play it. And then BO6 is so far in the brain rot direction that nobody wants to play it. So find the middle ground. Why can you not find the middle ground here where, movement can get you out of some situations, but it's not because you're spamming sliding backwards and frontwards. I go back to MW19. I feel like despite people hating that game, it brought new generation in. It brought back old generation. It was never too fast where you're like, holy crap, what is happening? Until Stims got in the meta. That's when it started to get where people were like, whoa, what's going on here? If they would have nerfed the Stims and made it where people couldn't like get a speed burst, I think that probably would have made that game. I still think that game was right where they needed to go. Maybe some tweaks to stuff, like maybe tax sprint goes away one year.
I think it was a perfect storm, because when you said that, like, I just had this thought, like, when they released Modern Warfare 2019, not only was it a reboot, which obviously got the old fans back in, it brought back, the old heads, but it came out at the perfect time to also, with Warzone, capture a totally new audience. And being able to capture both of those simultaneously is like almost impossible. Like,
yeah,
I think that's so unlikely. That's why that game was so popular. That's why it worked, is because it like you either appeal to your old head not casual, but like old head, like hardcore fan base that's been there for years, or you try to go after a new audience that's never played before. And Modern Warfare actually captured both, which I don't know how they would do that again.
Well, I think it was because every play style worked. I think that's my biggest thing that I always remember about MW19. I felt like anybody could do something that they wanted to. You had the guy, and again, sometimes it makes for an annoying game sometimes, but like you had the people that were camping behind doors with a 7.25 because they could counter the sweat sprinting in and YYing and all sorts of stuff, because they're like, I'm going to sit right here and sit behind a Claymore with a 7.25 and blast him as he comes through the door. And then you had the people that were cracked and they could do all sorts of movement and like bunny hop, and that became a player. And sniping was back in that game. Sniping was fun. ARs were fun to use. So everybody was like taken care of. And I think that's why people also dealt with the crap in that game, because there was just so many people playing. I wish I could go back with the knowledge I have of YouTube and go back to MW19.
Me too, man.
It's just, that game had so much content potential, and I feel like that was the era of class setups, which just everybody wanted to know what the best build was. But I think if there would have been other people doing other stuff at that time, which there probably was, but you could have blown up even more at that time.
Mm-hmm. I think content has also changed a lot since then too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like recently it's changed. It feels like it's changing every week.
Yeah.
But I feel like content has definitely changed a lot since then. And like, I think right now is probably one of the hardest times to be a Call of Duty content creator. And I'm sure, you know, you can attest to this too. It's just like, it's difficult to actually,
well, that's why they don't help us at all. I mean, I know they're giving us new content.
I think live service is actually actively counterintuitive to us. Some people may disagree, and that's fine. Like, I don't know if you saw with the season 2 update, they released over 50 new camos to BO7.
Yeah, I don't even know I don't even know.
Didn't even know. That's an insane amount. Like, in a game that, in my opinion, already has way too many camos, they put another 50 on top. And it's like, someone would probably hear that and think that I'm being like a hater. And like, dude, why are you shitting on new content?
Call of Duty was not ever made like as a camo grinding game. That's what I don't like about the current meta, is like, I'm going to get on and camo grind COD. And
camo grinding simulator.
Once it's done, I'm just going to uninstall the game. It wasn't about that back in the day. It wasn't, and I'm not trying to sound like an old head. I'm not trying to sound like camo grinding is not something you can do and enjoy it. But the people that put the value of Call of Duty on how many camos can I unlock, it just seems very hollow and lifeless. It's like, okay, get camo on gun, then what? You just have
never use gun again.
Never use gun again. Never use camo again, because I got to go to the next camo.
And I think about that all the time, because, like, you know, when you would get a camo, and again, at risk of sounding like an old head, I don't care. When you would get a camo in a classic Call of Duty, you would kind of use it until you got the next one.
You would rock it. Like Red Tiger. I had Red Tiger on my gun for 6 months.
Yeah. And even the boring basic military camos you would use until you got the next one unlocked.
Yeah.
And with how many camos are in the game now, I don't think you can actually... I don't think you can do that. Like, you in a single game of zombies or whatever, you can blow through all of the boring military camos in a single match that you never even have to touch up. They're genuinely filler. And them in season 2 adding another 50 camos.
50 camos. There's not even. And what else are they adding? Here's another thing. They didn't add Stakeout back, but they gave us Paranoia, which is the was it Paranoia? It might be something titled different, but it's the literal Black Ops 1 main menu room as a map. And so they're not titling it Stakeout 24/7, but these 24/7 maps, I'm telling you, are a bigger issue than people think. And I'm tired of people yelling at me saying, T, you don't have to play them. I know I don't have to play them. I don't play them. But when the person comes into the game and only plays a 24/7 playlist to unlock his camos, and he does it in 2 weeks because of how quickly it is, and then doesn't play the game until the next season, I just don't think that's a good formula to keep people around. I made a video on it. Nuketown used to be only special occasion 24/7 double XP. And it made you hop on because you went, oh, boys, let's get on, play some Nuketown. We got extra time to grind our guns. And then you went back to normal life and you had to play regular team deathmatch or domination. And it made the grind seem longer because it actually was longer, because you had to play the game more, but it wasn't in like a Battlefield 6 grind. Like that was too far the other way. But I just remember they're just making it too easy to unlock everything quickly with brain rot.
I think the big distinction is that, and again, I've talked about this before, and I don't know when it happened, but there was a distinction between like playing COD for the love of the game versus playing it primarily to unlock camos or unlock things, right?
Right. Like you
we would play.
They got rid of lobby leaderboards. They got rid of lobby leaderboards. Part of it was people lobby leaderboard grind, and they wanted to be the number one player in the world. And then they got rid of it. And it's like, okay, well, if I can't grind for lobby leaderboard, why am I playing a public match? I guess now I just got to grind the top. That's kind of how people flex their stats now. Yeah, they flex their stats now by saying I have the final camo in 7 days. And then, but that's not a recurring thing. Once the camo's done, you stop playing the game. A leaderboard is, holy crap, I gotta beat Bob, who's grinding over there.
This guy's coming up on me. I gotta get back on. I gotta play better. It wasn't lobby leaderboards with 24/7 paranoia. It was you just played TDM or Nuketown or not Nuketown or Domination or Hardpoint. They've gotten rid of those longevity things, and it's hurt the game. It's hurt the game in more ways than I think it has, than they think it has. I really want them to focus on making a more long-standing product, because for how much Call of Duty is a nostalgia brand now, the only way to, I think, retain that value is to make games that hold value over time, which is an interesting proposition when you think about why people are watching classic COD now, because those are the games that hold value to them for nostalgia or other reasons. But that, and maybe there is a little bit of that in some of the post MW19 games, but not as much, because they weren't really made to live on after they were done being supported, right? I
just think that the current COD people they're just not a fan of it. And I hope COD is paying attention to YouTubers that are growing like crazy playing older CODs, like Fortunate. I don't know if you ever watched Fortunate before, but his videos, since people have stopped playing Black Ops 7, he uploads MW2 and MW3. The dude's averaging 100,000 views a video. Like that's not small numbers there. Like and
it's not an accident either.
It's not an accident either.
People are attached and love these games. And now Microsoft would hear that and think, well, the obvious thing to do is we got to remaster these games. We got to do a classic MW2 remaster. We got to remaster MW3, which apparently didn't happen at the Xbox Game Showcase, which I was kind of surprised by.
Yeah. Didn't even announce anything.
That was, they didn't announce anything at all. That was sums it up for Xbox, if I'm being honest.
It really does. It really does.
God,
it was sad.
I wish
it was really sad.
I wish, we're literally behind this camera. I have on my desk a PS5, I have my PC, and I have an Xbox. I have not booted up my Xbox since the New Zealand day of Black Ops 7.
That hurts.
Because I played early on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Other than that, I wish I had a reason to boot up my Xbox, but I don't.
Because it's the easiest to switch to New Zealand out of all the consoles.
Yeah, and I know you use Xbox because you have all the CODs on there. I would say that's probably PC for me. But I wish I actually had like a good reason to boot up my Xbox. I don't.
Oh, if I didn't have every CODs, I would never play Xbox probably, because you could play most games on PC at better frame rate and all that stuff, and then PS5 just seems to be the console that people play now. If you're not
PlayStation 5 still continues to sell well, which is I mean, it's, at least a good sign as far as like people are still console gaming. It's just not with Xbox. There was also some like weird, like, I'm trying to remember what it's called. Someone in the comments probably knows, but it's like this, like, it's like not a knockoff, but a unheard of console that's basically like a Kinect that outsold the Xbox.
I saw that.
It's crazy.
That hurts.
And I think just like Call of Duty has gotten away from its own identity, Xbox has gotten away from its own identity. Microsoft wants Xbox to be like the all-in-one entertainment system.
Well, they wanted that in 2013, and look how that worked.
I know, it didn't work. They should have like understood that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they've been struggling since 360. They have not. They're like Call of Duty, except for consoles. Like they just have not made something. Their golden age was Xbox and 360.
Yep.
And they just can't find the answer to get back to those days. And it feels like Call of Duty's in the same boat. They're just like, they can't. I don't know if it's because the people that worked on those games are completely gone, pretty much, or a lot of them are gone. But they just cannot find this. I truly feel like these HMM mods or whatever they're called, HWM, like they have more soul in them than Call of Duties do nowadays.
Oh, you mean like the modern like Modern Warfare clients?
Yes.
That type of thing. Oh,
Yes.
oh no, no, you mean the custom Call of Duty games?
Like the client you can download for like Modern Warfare Remastered, and it becomes MW2 or MW3. Like that stuff to me is that feels more like Call of Duty than Call of Duty.
Yeah, I get what you mean, and like I'm not saying that the entire future Call of Duty is like cooked necessarily. They still have opportunities to course correct. I mean, we've seen them do it before. I will I think they have another rough year ahead of them with facing GTA 6's release if it happens.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, if it comes out, it's over.
Do you think GTA 6 is coming out this year?
No, I do not.
Really?
No.
I'm not sure at this point. Like, I mean, it is going to come out late in the year, but I suppose it could go either way. You think it's going to be a 2027?
I have never seen a Rockstar. I've never seen a Rockstar game in my lifetime have a smooth, like, we're picking this time and it comes out. Never in my life. So yeah, I know they kind of did a second release, and I don't think I will believe that game is coming out until I see somebody playing with gameplay footage. Like, not a trailer, not any of that junk. I'm talking about like, hey, we got 30 minutes of uninterrupted first level of GTA 6. Like they do kind of like in these reveal showcases.
Yep.
Other than that, ain't no way.
I mean, we'll see. Are you going to play Marathon?
Yeah, I do want to give it a shot because I felt like when I played Marathon, as many of you guys probably remember, I absolutely hated it. I thought it was one of the worst games I ever played in my life. But I did leave saying there, like, their art style was really good and like the gunplay felt good. It was missing like boring. It was just boring.
It didn't have an X factor. Like,
yeah,
that's how I felt too. It was like, yeah, the art's great. The gunplay is, classic Bungie. That they always get that right. That's not the issue. It just didn't have that X factor for a game that is so ripe with potential for interesting like PvE encounters or cool PvP situations. Even there was none of that. This is boring ass bots.
Yeah,
that like were very unsatisfying to shoot. I think they could do a lot better in that regard, man. And I just think that, like, God, I really wish Marathon was coming out as like, hey, this game has a campaign or a story.
I said that. I said it.
Extraction is on the side.
Yes. That story in that world is actually awesome.
It's so cool. I was watching the cinematic trailer again today just because how good it was, and I'm like, if this game had a story you could play through, or even like maybe not like a super on the rail story, but you could even do something like a Destiny 1 campaign type of thing.
Yeah.
And then you had, I don't know if a multiplayer component is asking for a little much on there, and then extraction on the side. I think you'd have a pretty damn complete package there. That's something that could, go to toe with COD. Like, yeah, but
I totally agree.
Just extraction, it's like, okay, that's cool, and it'll be competition for our creators, I guess. But like, I don't know. I'm gonna play it, and I hope it's good. Other than that, I mean, the Duskbloods comes out this year, which I'm going to play, but that's really about it as far as games. Like Marathon, GTA 6, the Duskbloods, and then the Elden Ring Tarnished Edition is coming out, but it's not really a new game. It's just minor DLC, kind of.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, like if COD,
I'm excited for James Bond.
Oh, when does that come out?
I think it got delayed. I think it's March now.
Oh, okay.
James Bond video game. I always love James Bond games, man. First Light is now May.
Wow.
It was March, I think.
Yeah, that's a heavy delay.
That's a heavy delay.
You'll have that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for that game. I know it's a single player game, but occasionally single player games get me a little excited, and that one got me a little excited. So we'll see if
for sure.
Let's see if I actually can finish it. I think the last James Bond game was like 10, 15 years ago.
This is a while ago, yeah.
Except for like the GoldenEye remaster they had on Game Pass, but
Yeah, I want to say like 11 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a while. So and a good one has been probably
A long time.
20 years ago, so I'm hoping it starts a trend, like it sells well, and
I
maybe we
guess
get.
Resident Evil's coming out this year too. I don't know if you're interested in playing that.
I have never played a Resident Evil except for, I believe, were they the arcade machines at one point, or is that not?
Well, they have arcade machines of Resident Evil. If you've played those at like a Dave and Buster's.
I think I've played like a Resident Evil where you shoot the guns, right?
Yeah, like those the arcade ones.
Yeah. That's my only experience with Resident Evil. Which that's gonna make some people upset, but
I mean it's a game. It's a great series. May not be for everyone. I would be curious if you enjoy it. If you were to try, but Requiem's a little different, where it's like it's like there's two stories essentially. Like it's combining action, combat oriented stuff with like Leon's story, and then there's more like survival horror stuff with the other one. It's kind of cool. It'll probably be a very good game. It usually always is. But yeah, other than that, like I don't know if COD is gonna look at the lineup of this year and particularly GTA 6 and try to like I don't know, at such a pivotal moment in COD's trajectory. Do you think they got to do something unorthodox to survive a potential GTA 6 release this year?
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the heck they're gonna do. I'm assuming they focus hard on DMZ this year, and even from somebody who hates DMZ, I'm okay with that because I think that would bring back people to the game. Because I think
if they'd done it right,
yeah, like I'm looking long term. Like if that's gonna get people back, then I have to be okay with it because I don't think the answer is updating Warzone.
Sure.
And I don't think it's hopefully has a great campaign. I think part of I've always said this story is important to COD. Again, more than they maybe think that it does or it is. Multiplayer, you just got to make a good multiplayer, good maps, stuff like that. But I think the third mode, if they can do like a DMZ and kind of make that the thing and then branch Warzone off into its own thing, I think I just missed the package being three things that's not including Warzone. Like Warzone was that third thing in 2020 with MW19. And then like, I think then we could have branched it off into its own thing. Even then, before it was like...
Technically, yeah, they had Spec Ops, but it was like, dude, nobody talks about Modern Warfare 2019 Spec Ops.
Yeah, like that. Their third mode was that. And then Zombies was for Cold War. And then I feel like after Cold War, they've tried to use Warzone as like their continued third mode of we got to keep updating this thing. But I still think they should just take a team, send them off over there. People that want to play Warzone still, you have a little area, but every COD should be 3 modes, just like it was back in the day where Treyarch was Zombies.
And that are truly like doing their own thing.
Yeah, Spec Ops and Modern Warfare, and then Extinction and Ghost. Like it was like a definitive third mode. And so
yeah,
I'm hoping they actually do that at one point.
Yeah, I mean this is a pivotal year for COD. I think they gotta put something up because they cannot. I'm sure Microsoft is not satisfied to just eat 60% drops in sales numbers every single year. It's just not happening. And I mean, like for us, I don't know about you, but like I'm interested in just playing like older CODs at this point and older games in general. Like that's kind of what I've been enjoying doing. And I will pop into Black Ops 7 when there's something new or something interesting to play for me. But like other than and what is kind of insane is like, they dropped the new Zombies map, Astra Malorum, and they were hyping it up before it came out. They're like, this map's out of this world. This map is insane. You're not going to believe it. And Astra Malorum is so aggressively average.
Yeah.
And if that's just, what they're going to do for the rest of the year, if every map from this point is going to be aggressively average, then whatever, I guess. But I think for Zombies needs a big paradigm shift after this year too, because their formula has also reached its end. They gotta do something different in a major way with the next time they do zombies, which could be in 2028. Who knows? But yeah, that's it's interesting.
Well, I think this is a good intro back to the podcast. We've said this probably 4 times now, and it's all on me, guys, to be honest with you. Chops always wanted to do podcasts. It's just me. I'm like, I just keep saying the same thing. I'm like, dude, I don't feel like talking about Call of Duty right now for some reason.
I mean, we had a good yap, and I like talking about other games too.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that we can continue to do is have some other discussions with other games.
Yeah, I mean, if you and that's what we kind of want to test is, if you guys even are interested in talk or listening to us talk about other games, let us know, because that allows us to feel like we don't have to be in the COD box all the time. I think it's good to have COD as like a touch point for the like temperature of things in the gaming industry, but we don't have to just talk about how much Black Ops 7 sucks every single podcast. That's not really what either of us want to do. I mean, just having a good yap about COD and other games is, I think, good for all of us. So if you guys want to see that more, we'd be more than happy to.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, I don't know what episode this is.
I don't remember either. It might be I think it's 49. I think it's 49.
49. Okay, great. So we're almost at 50. That's pretty crazy, though.
Next one will be 50. Yeah.
50. Maybe we'll do 50 is a non-Call of Duty podcast. We can't talk about COD one time.
No COD on the Going Dark Call of Duty 50. Podcast.
I love it. All right, well, guys, hey, typical outro here. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. We're back. Maybe. No, but make sure you check out our other content. Chop's been doing retrospectives on some other games besides COD. And I've been kind of just going way back to the golden age on my channel. So if that floats your boat, which it probably does, because you're probably on the same boat we are. Yeah. Anyway, Chop, anything else?
I mean, just to echo what you were saying is like, yeah, I think this year I'm really interested in doing like not only classic COD stuff. I'm going to be revisiting some of the aspects of the games that we all really loved, but I'm going to be doing some other non-COD games and retrospectives on them as well, given that I've been enjoying like retro gaming lately. Yeah. And I say retro more like 360 era type stuff. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So I appreciate you guys for watching this podcast and watching our actual personal content too. It's been really cool. So hopefully we'll get to do more of these. And yeah, I'm down to just have a yap about anything, even if it's not COD. So we can do that more.
Make sure you also follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And I think that's it, guys. We will see you for episode number 50. 50.
The big one.
Yeah, anything, I guess any feedback, I want to say that too. Any feedback, type in the comments as well. Just like give us your thoughts on everything involving the podcast. We would appreciate it. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
See ya.